Hello everyone, so let's jump straight into it. You do not have to have any previous experience to understand what's about to be presented. So what is internal audit? This is a deep dive for beginners. So let's begin by looking at the definition of internal audit. The IIA, or the Institute of Internal Auditors, defines internal audit using this big block of text. Internal auditing is an independent, objective assurance, and so we're not going to read this for now. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to show you a simpler illustration of what internal auditing is. So in practice, what an internal auditor does can be summarized in 3 steps. Understand, assess, and prevent. We understand how a business works, we assess what can go wrong, and we help prevent that from happening. When we talk about assess what can go wrong, this is where we get into risks. And when we talk about preventing those risks from happening, this is where we talk about controls. It's okay if you have no idea what these words mean for now. We'll get into that later, but just keep that in mind because internal auditors hear these terms on a daily basis. Now let's dive a bit deeper into understanding, assessing, and preventing. Your ability to understand and assess comes from 2 sources: knowledge and experience. Knowledge comes from videos such as this one, getting your CIA certificate, self-studies, etc. Now, experience comes with time. There is no cheat code or hack for this. Just let time do its thing and you'll get there. When we talk about assessing what can go wrong, 2 things you have to keep in mind. You have to be independent and objective. Why is that the case? Because when you give an opinion, your opinion has to be unbiased and not influenced by anyone or anything. Remember these 2 words. These are very important for an internal auditor. And these are one of the 2 main traits that differentiate internal auditing from other professions. And finally, preventing, or helping prevent things from going wrong. How do you do that? You do that by giving advice and recommending improvements. Now, what do you give advice and recommendations on? 3 topics mainly: risk management, control, and governance. It's okay if you have no idea what these terms mean yet, but for now, just understand that these are the key 3 topics that internal auditors look after. If we bring back the big block of text, which I will still not read for now, if you notice, I've highlighted a couple of words that we just spoke about: independence, objectivity, risk management, control, governance. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to link the definition to the simplified illustration that I showed you. 2 words that we are yet to speak about, which are in the first sentence of the definition: assurance and consulting. Let's talk a bit about those and then we'll get back to the definition. So let's try and differentiate between assurance and consulting in a simplified manner as well. Now, assurance is when an auditor analyzes past events to reach an opinion on whether or not something within the company is working as intended. Now, what you analyze is up to you because, like we've said, you have to be independent and objective. Consulting, on the other hand, there is no analysis of past events. This is where you sort of agree on a task to do with the client. So, for example, if the client asks you to train their employees on risk management, this can be considered a consulting engagement rather than assurance. Now, going back to the definition of internal audit. Using the illustrations and the examples that I gave you, I've highlighted the topics we touched upon. Now, as a result of your independence and your objectivity, and the fact that you provide both assurance and consulting services, and your ability to touch upon 3 important topics, which are risk management, control, and governance, by extension, what ends up happening is you tend to add value and improve an organization's operations, and you help organizations accomplish their objectives. Now, what I've just done is take the definition apart and put it back in pieces which are easy to understand. Hopefully, if someone asks you what an internal auditor is, you're able to now answer them based on your newly found understanding of the definition. Now, my job is done. This is where your job begins. Continue watching videos, self-studying, and expanding your expertise. You can reach out to me if you need any mentoring or guidance. I can help you with internal audit consultations, your CIA studies, university projects, or if you have a job interview coming up, I can help you with that as well. You can reach out to me on my Instagram on the right side of the screen or on the email that is mentioned.